Hi everyone, welcome back to 5 Feet Under Podcast. We're your hosts, Genesis.
Maui.
I feel like it's been a while since we did this. I don't know, for me it feels long because I've been super busy.
Well, I haven't been.
Yeah, so welcome back guys. We're sorry about last week not having an episode. Unfortunately, we did have some tech issues. Yeah, that was on me. But be patient with us as new podcasters. We will in the future wanting to exactly post at 12 every Friday at 12 p.m. But we're going to get right into this episode. So as you can see by our pop culture and our topic of the episode are kind of mixing. So we're going to talk about the Diddy situation and toxic Hollywood because it's just a topic that I feel like can always be talked about. And my aunt personally has gone through the toxic Hollywood.
Yeah. We're gonna expand a little bit later, but let's get into the pop culture. Well, first of all, let's do our peaks and our bits.
Yeah. So you can start off with your peak.
Yeah. My peak is basically this year so far. Work-wise, it's been pretty smooth and chill and carefree because last year it was chaotic and just ruthless last year. I was down in the army trenches.
She was complaining to me every day, bro.
Every day, yeah. But this year it's smooth sailing so far, and I hope it stays like that. That's my peak.
So my peak is that I got my first paycheck from my job.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice to be making your own money because before I just got allowance from my parents, but now that I'm making my own money, it's very rewarding, and seeing those numbers go up, it's damn, I do really want to be independent.
Yeah.
And now I'm making a certain amount of money where I can put into my savings, and I could go on vacation if I wanted to, get my own plane ticket. Mm-hmm. So that's really exciting. And I'm just excited.
How do you feel about the government taking from you?
Dude, why do they take so much out of my paycheck?
Yes, exactly.
But I'm just excited for the future, and with this new job that I'm so grateful for, what I can do with it. Yeah, that's my peak. So now we're gonna move on to the pits.
My pet, guys, I have gout. Okay, and that gout. If you don't know what gout is, it's basically a condition where if you eat too much protein, it deposits crystals into your cartilage, wherever the cartilage collects. Sometimes it collects in the ear, sometimes it collects in the fingers or, the elbows.
In our family, it's the legs.
Yeah, and knees. I've gotten it in my knees before, but usually it happens in my foot, right, the big toe or the back, the ankle part. This time was the ankle part, and girlfriend was out. I was literally out of work.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh.
I couldn't walk. It was hard going to the bathroom because I, literally had to, you have to carefully get up because you can't really step on, walk. So yeah, it was hurt for a week, and then finally I was just oh, this is too much. I have to get back to work because mentally I was okay. So I just went to the ER and got a shot. I should probably be paying attention, but I forgot what the shot was called. But yeah, but it's on the mend. It still hurts a little bit, but I'm able to walk. So yeah, gout took me out.
Well, I'm glad.
Gout took me out.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. And literally, she's been getting gout her whole life, and I'm literally telling her, stop eating all that meat.
No. Meat.
Anyways, moving on to my pit. I don't really have much to complain about, but I would say my pit is continuing from I think our second episode or something. I'm so busy. I started school and I have work. Dude, why did I get over 20 assignments? Okay, my first week of school also went good, but I think that will be my peak for the next episode. I'll get more in depth in that. But Dude, I got so much work. Like, excuse me, like I literally counted like all the mini assignments, like over 20 assignments for week 1.
Wow.
Like, cuz I'm doing 3 classes this quarter because I'm on a quarter system. So for my English class, I have to write 5 journals by next week. Then for my business class, I have 2 chapter readings, 2 chapter homeworks, and 2 chapter quizzes each week. Then for my math class, it's a little more chill. I have like 1 chapter a week, but it's just like, damn. Also, I want to talk about my peak too. Kind of, I'm actually grateful for my high school. Like they literally prepared me for this. Like
Awesome.
I was like, why? Because I went to a pretty competitive and nice high school. I was like, wait, why is my high school doing so much? Like this is like, why am I getting a quiz every week? 2 quizzes a week in math. No, they were preparing me like, girl, this is what you're gonna have to do. So I'm glad I'm that type of person that does have good time management, and I am very focused on school. But it's just like, damn, that's a lot of work.
Well, I'm glad that they prepared you. And like, I don't remember having 20 assignments my first quarter, but hey, times have changed. Anyways, moving on to our pop culture. Yeah, of course, P. Diddy is the big news right now. Of course,
Big kahuna.
yeah. If you know, he's been arrested, and he's been denied bail. So he's got charges like sex trafficking, racketeering. I don't know what else, but they denied him. They're like, no, you staying in jail until like we go to trial. But basically, they found like 1,000.
There were 2 gallons of baby oil. Who needs that much baby oil?
Plus, I feel like there's KY jelly, or there's other sexual like materials that you can buy. Like, I don't know, maybe baby oil works for him. I don't know. And they found 786 dildos. I'm like, dildos. 786 dildos. I don't know. Maybe he has a lot of friends. I don't know.
He has a lot of friends.
Well, the freak offs and like the parties that he has.
Like they said they have this like big party, so that's probably why he needs. Oh, not needs, but that's why he has
Why
so
he
much.
needs?
Like that's like genuinely spooky.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm like shook, gooped and gagged. Like,
Well, usually we play like a devil's advocate.
we will not be playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I just don't see a positive spin on this. Like in any way, shape, or form.
Well, if you guys don't know about the P. Diddy situation, basically it came out that he was,
he was in a relationship with Cassie for over 10 years, and he would make her have sex with other men and do, just sexual things that she didn't want to.
he's sick.
Yeah, just for his own pleasure. And, there's talks about his former wife, Kim Porter, that she died under, like, suspicious circumstances, and, like, I'm sure she probably went through all that, too, because she was with him for over...
So, like, the rappers and the songwriters that would get involved with him, they would have to, like...
Yeah,
get
like...
intimate with him?
Yes. I was, I was just, like, scrolling the internet and stuff, and, like, I, came upon the leaked tape of, like, Meek Mill and, like, P. Diddy supposedly having sex. And, like, something inside of me said don't play it, but I was just, like, I was too curious, and I played it, and I'm traumatized.
So he uses that audio to
Yeah.
have something on the singers and songwriters
Right.
so he can control them. Yeah, so I think it's all just like a power trip in some individuals, like, in the Hollywood industry. It literally consumes them.
And what you were saying yesterday about like power, like when is enough
That was my mom.
Like when is enough? Like when is like too much power? Like I don't know if there's a limit to like once you get a fill, you know what I'm saying? Like once you get a taste, Like, does it ever stop? Like,
Me and my aunt were also talking about yesterday. Everyone has their vice.
Yeah.
What a vice means is everyone has something that they consume too much of.
Yeah.
They're either addicted to money, they're addicted to drugs, they're addicted to food, they're addicted to retail.
Well, you can guess what mine is.
And unfortunately, some of these vices are power.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's sexual power or it's pedophilia.
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate. And like, and we're just gonna segue right into like the toxic Hollywood. When I was, in my early teens, and as soon as I graduated from high school, I was so excited to start my life, right? And I was so hungry. I was like, the artist, and I was gonna go to Hollywood, and I was gonna become this famous actress, and like
That was your dream.
that was my dream. Like,
Because you only saw the outside of Hollywood.
yeah, I only saw the outside of Hollywood. And like when I stepped foot into Hollywood, you don't understand the things you would be willing to do, almost in a sense. That just to have someone acknowledge you, or oh wow, God, you're talented, or just give you some sort of encouragement or motivation towards fulfilling your dream. And you don't know what that hunger is.
Until you're like faced right with it.
Yeah, but I also felt like, although okay, let's just be totally like honest here. Like, I'm not a 10. I'm not leading lady material where, like, some casting director is gonna ask me to get on his casting couch and like sell my body. I really feel like, I'm, your next door neighbor. I'm the funny, Asian lady,
Stop.
stereotypical,
Stop.
but even on the on my level, of pursuing my dream, I still experienced all those horrible things, and I'm not even like pretty, honestly. Like, I'm not even to the point where like a guy would want to like, hey, come on, let's go. Hey, you wanna get $1 million? You gotta sell your body first. Like,
And they were still acting like that.
yeah, they were still acting like that. Like, and to me, I was just like, wow.
I'm so glad you never fell into that trap.
No, because like I think about what if I had looked like a Charlize Theron, or what if I looked like Halle Berry? Could you imagine what those women had to do? The things they had to do? I'm sure, I'm almost positive that there are, successful celebrities or actors or entertainers out there who are making a solid, clean living. But this is what I believe. I want to say at least a good 90% of
Have to sell something.
yeah. And it's unfortunate that,
It's so common.
and when I first was starting out, I'd just be hearing, I love acting, but I hate the business of acting. I'm like, and I never really understood that. I was like, isn't that kind of the same thing? But, through experience and through my many years in Hollywood, that's when I really learned the toxic nature of what this business is. We've all seen the documentaries of, the little kids, how they get into like Nickelodeon, how it starts off there with pedophilia. Oh, these poor kids. And I'm sure Demi Lovato's recent Child Star. You know, all the horrible things that they have to go through, right? To be able to make their dream come true. And it's unfortunate that we have to sell basically our soul to get what? Recognition?
We desire. And it also goes into like, I really think they do sell their soul, because why do the most talented, biggest ones die so early? Because it says all drug abuse. I think to a certain extent they are using drugs because it's just very common. But like, what's Marilyn really going Monroe. On? What's really going on there? Because Marilyn Monroe, I did my research and like I watched a documentary. I watched all the movies about her. Her body. Did you know that it was sick? It went missing for 6 hours before they found it.
Her body went
missing for 6 hours after she died. So
I never knew that.
So what happened?
In her house? Supposedly she died in her home.
Went missing for 6 hours.
It's the Illuminati.
That's a whole other.
I know exactly. Conspiracy theory.
It's just like, why do all the greats like Selena, Richie Valens, like
Elvis Presley, James Dean, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse. Didn't she die when she was like 22 or something like that? 24?
Even like the social media of it, the way stars are seen, I feel like also that amount of pressure adds to that Hollywood thing. You have to be perfect, you have to be skinny. Like even my generation, the way that these people are critiqued, it's like crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I didn't really have the skin for, honestly. Because, you know, of course, I would hear little things like, she's fat, she's short, she's too this, she's too that. And I didn't know how much more I could take of, like, just being critiqued for being myself. Do you know what I'm saying?
Also, it's my aunt, that was her dream, but it wasn't meant for you.
And I'm glad. I'm glad that it wasn't meant for me, because I think that God knew otherwise, you know, because like I was blinded by
your
like
dream.
But I think that like I was meant for something else. I don't think that well, just to put it into like, for an example, okay, so I was on set and we were shooting, and the sound people forgot to put a mic on me, right? That's not my fault. That's the sounds department. They forgot to put a mic on me, and we were already recording. So I was still doing my part. I was still saying all my lines, and like, but the director was yelling at me, right? As I'm talking to you, he's standing behind the camera, yelling, and like his evil eyes. I'm like, I'm sitting here. I'm like, as you know, an entertainer, a performer, you're supposed to block all that stuff out, and like, and I'm thinking, you want me to focus right now where you're killing me with your eyes? Are you serious right now? And he got completely mad at me. He's like, well, first he was like, well, why does she have a mic? And why are you talking? Why are you talking when you know you don't have a mic? And I'm just like,
boy, I'm just doing my job.
I was like, you guys are filming. You know, just talking from my experience when I was out there, you know, we actually, my best friend and I went to a Hollywood Hills party, right? Like we went all the way up to like a mansion in the hills. Like, we're like, oh yeah, we're big shit now. Yeah, like, yeah, totally. We're yeah, when we got...
You guys got invited?
Yeah, we got invited. So it was like this, you know, small time director or whatever. And like, we get there and he likes Asian girls, right?
Your mic is hitting your shirt.
He likes Asian girls. And so, little old me, just being myself. I didn't think he liked me, but I guess he liked me. So like we're cruising through the party, and then all of a sudden I see people making out. Yeah, start making out and start like it like the whole vibe changed. Like we were there for a couple hours, and
It started to turn into an orgy.
yeah. And I was like, am I really seeing this right now? Like to me, I've never been to that kind of like party before.
If you guys don't know, traditional Hmong right here. Like,
Sheltered my whole life. I started seeing people making out and like, it started getting sexual, and I was just like, we might be at the wrong party. So I looked at my friend and I was like, let's get the freak out of here. I was like, this is, no, this is too much for me right now. Well, that's what a good family values gives you.
in your opinion.
Yeah, like I feel like I had a good core of like
This is not right.
Yeah, my morals and my beliefs, and I didn't want to be there anymore.
So didn't the guy like invite you to the?
Yeah, he like later on. But we left that night because I felt very uncomfortable, and I was just like, this party's taking a turn to where I don't necessarily want to be around this
That
kind of stuff. Yeah,
environment.
so we left. He calls me a couple days later, and dude, like
Spooky.
this guy
Spooky.
yeah, this guy calls me a couple days later, and he wants me to jump on his crew, right? He's like, oh, do you want to come work for me? I was like, oh, absolutely. What
This
am I?
is the guy that likes Asian girls, right?
Yeah. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? He's like, well, you would be giving me massages. I'm like,
My boy. My boy. Hell no.
I was like, oh, like, like massages when you're not feeling well. He's no. He didn't come out and necessarily say it. So he didn't come out and necessarily say it, but he was implying that I would have to get intimate. And I was trying to, like, luckily back then, we had those machines where like it recorded as you were talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was trying to get him on tape so that I could, have this just in case something happened, And then my roommate walked in at the time when he was about to say it. So he heard the door click. So he stopped. He stopped. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then that's the last I heard from that guy. Like,
Even small directors are doing this.
Exactly.
Imagine what the big directors are doing.
Exactly.
And you like were so hungry. Imagine someone more hungry than you. They would probably say yes.
But I can understand. A young artist or artists who are, really looking to improve their careers, wanting to do things that are against their morals and their values, right? So, I can understand. But yeah, just a little microcosm of where I was.
You were still experiencing.
That was already happening to me, and I'm not a knockout, 10, and I just felt like if I experienced that on my level, wow.
What's going on the higher levels?
Exactly. What is going on when, you've got like beautiful women like Salma Hayek and like, people who, pretty much beautiful, and it's just crazy the amount of but I also feel like this is the world. This is the world. It always will be the survival of the fittest.
Who's willing to do what?
People who are manipulative and like willing to take you there, you know, seeing how much they can push out of you. Well, how do you feel about this as a young person? I know that you were interested in being an entertainer. You want a, you're a great dancer. You're a great actress.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, you wanted to pursue that. But I know that I wanted to help you as well. But because we had the time constraints and stuff like that, we weren't able to do a lot of things that, you wanted to do. But like, knowing this toxic nature, does that hinder you from like going forward with this, or like do you still want to do it, or what?
Honestly, it does like deter me away from it because it's literally possible. Like my aunt like almost like went through that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And just for me, I feel like I'm pretty traditional in the way I act, my morals and values. I could not do that stuff, and I'm gonna be honest, I do think I'm attractive, so I think I already get, even at professional places I go, I already get like weird vibes from people, like literally already. I did want to become an actress when I was younger because I was really interested in that. And maybe I will pursue it later. Who knows? Yeah. But all I know is I'm going to be super careful. And if they want me to do things I don't agree with, then I'm just not going to be famous if that's what I need to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's more important than getting those big time jobs. And being a dancer, I think it'll be a little bit easier for me not to go through those things because it is really strictly like on talent. So I think I'm still pursuing my dance career, which I will tell you guys in another episode. Maybe I'll have something that I don't know yet, but opportunity. But yeah, it honestly does deter me away from it, and that's why I'm doing my own little social media thing so I can make my fame for myself.
Yeah,
that's how I'm doing it. You know.
But I've thought about like yeah, when I was younger, I didn't understand the whole thing of what fame is. Having everybody's eyes
fame
on you.
Fame is a job.
Yeah.
It's a job.
I don't know if I want to be famous.
I want to be famous to the point where I can't go to the...
working.
I don't want to be famous to the point where I can't go to the grocery store. I want to be famous... Like, a good example is, like, really big influencers. Not everybody knows them. They can still go out and stuff. Yeah. That's what I would like.
No, I just like a normal day job. Like,
then why are you doing the podcast?
Well, because it's like you have something to share. You want to share something with people.
So this can get you to that
Well,
point.
yeah, like, and I've thought about that. I've thought about if opportunities came knocking and people wanted me to, at my age, I don't know. I really have to say I don't know.
Love Island wanted me, I would go on the show. Like Love Island, like sign me up, Bombshell. Hi.
Well, like, if like commercials coming and like, yeah, commercials pay good.
Ads.
And, yeah, stuff like that. But like if they wanted me to leave you, behind and be like, we can't work with Genesis. We only want to work with you, and you would be promoting, And like that goes against my core beliefs.
Exactly.
Like, we got here together. We should be there.
We're
gonna
ride it through.
Exactly.
That we do individually, that's fine. But this, like, it needs to stay between you and I.
Oh yeah, we don't like her look. We're gonna get a new Genesis.
To
podcast with you because,
offer
we don't
you $1 million
exactly or more, right? And I would have to chop you off and then like. But there are people who are willing to do that, right? Who are willing, well, I mean, not to, like, okay. Well, just for example, like Pink's career. Pink started in, I think, a trio. She was part of a trio
also
singing group.
Beyonce with Destiny's Child.
Yeah, exactly. So they only wanted Pink, right? Ooh. They didn't want the other two singers. Shoot. And I'm like...
What would you do in
I know, situation?
Like, Beyonce obviously did want her own career, and she got it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like survival of the fittest. Who's going to survive? And Beyonce...
Well, I went to a Destiny's Child concert, and it turned into the Beyonce concert.
Stop. preview of the Beyonce concerts.
Yeah. So,
We want to conclude this episode by saying that not all of the Hollywood industry is bad, and if that's your dream, you should definitely pursue it, but you do need to be careful because this is big.
Yeah. Like, not just Hollywood, but like entertainment in general. Because I'm sure it happens in, like, the cities and other cities besides LA or like New York.
Yeah.
Or, so,
I wonder if Broadway has stuff like that.
Of course. I think every sort of like, entertainment field has some sort of like casting couch or, somebody who's going to try to manipulate or, make people do things because they love power and, so I would just say have a good, family and friends around you. Have somebody you can always touch base and touch grass and touch reality with, because those things are going to be really important if you don't want to sell your soul.
Yeah, so that's the end of today's episode. A little bit on the dark side. It will lighten up.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, and we're going to be relatable on this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy. You guys can watch us on YouTube or stream us on Spotify. We post every Friday at 12 p.m. That will get more consistent. Sometimes we have editing issues or whatever. But I hope you guys are having a good morning, evening, day, night, whenever you're watching this. And we'll see you in our next one. Bye.
Love you.
Ghosty says bye.